Good day, YouTubers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. A little break in the planking this week. Got to put on some hatch covers. And to start with, we got to mark the deck for the right position. We got the hull all sanded up where we finished planking last week. So it wants us to be 11 millimeters away from the main mast, centered in the deck. That's pretty cut and dry. And we got to cut out some of this black background. That's probably Mylar, PVC or something like that. Cut that to the shape of the hatch cover laser cut assembly. I do got to sand these edges off a little bit where the laser cut stops at. And then it wants us to use the shaping tool for the first time. We can see there we're going to go with the 2x2 corner round profile, and we're going to take some WS3 stock, which is 2x2 square stock, so many millimeters long, and we got to shape it. And then we're going to use some regular planking boards, which are 5 millimeters by 1.5 millimeters. And using the 2x2, after we shape it, we're going to frame the outer side of it and then cut planking boards to fit in that seam in the middle. And I guess the planking board edge is what I'm wondering about, where it stops at, whether or not that gets, because the 2x2 is only going to come up flush with the top of the hatch cover. Oh yeah, there we go. So it wants us to shape that planking board on the end to taper down to the flush point to match that corner round. And then varnish it, I guess, before we install it. Well, the edge of my screen is blurry. It's probably something to do with the file, the way it loads in there. So that's the task for this morning, to get that assembled and varnished. I've already taken the shaping tool and shaped one of these boards. I'm going to go turn the lights on because I got the lights off so you don't see a reflection in that screen. We'll leave it zoomed in like we are now. But the shaping tool worked pretty good with the regular piece of the stock. There's one profile there that's got a little knob on the top that we didn't use. I used this one on the corner that's just rounded. And you can see the shape that it created there out of a regular 2x2 square stock. I think that'll work pretty good. We're just going to have to do a couple more. Yeah, because this is too short to reach. So we got to do a couple more boards to get the right shape. And after we get everything cut and shaped, then we'll set it up on some of this parchment paper and glue it up so it doesn't stick to the table. Let it dry. We'll want to cut out this black background first to the right size, and then we'll get a mark on the deck where it glues down at, so we know later on after this is ready to install on the deck where it goes. So it's just a matter of scraping. You can see there the 2x2 stock comes square. We just hold it down on the table, picking the right one. Making sure that our straight edge is against that side and putting down pressure. It didn't take long. 8 or 10 stripes. We'll do it from the other end. And we probably need to do a little more. Get it to look like the other one. That's the process, though. So this is working really good. Micro shapers from Artesia Latina. Go to their website. They got 3 different packs with 3 in each pack of different profiles that you can pick from. And I noticed in the plans there were some other profiles that they wanted us to use. I think something like that one there with the little bubbles in the middle. So let me get to cutting and shaping. Okay, we got all our pins in position. And got to get some glue ready. I'm going to do the black part after this gets stained or varnished. Right now I just want to get sort of everything. Can't see in the glue bottle. Just want to sort of get everything glued up here. I spent a little while mitering these corners on that corner round. think that's enough glue for the going around. Get some on for these end pieces. And I use my new sander let's take one of these out. I'll slide that in there. This has got to be up against that. Then we'll slide this one in. Over here. I wonder if I should put this end on first, though. Before I do the side. Got that backwards. There we go. And then slide this one in. We did all this dry fitting with the pins, so we pull out and get glue on everything. We can bend the pins in. That'll put pressure on it. And we use the new sanding. Oh, what do you call it? A bench sanding device. Yes, this thing worked great for shaping the end of these boards. You just hold it lightly on there and takes that profile and makes what we want. And now we're just gonna, with that being held down, get a little bit of glue on here. I need to get a pair of tweezers, don't I? Instead of using my big fat fingers. Get that where it looks pretty. So this wasn't too bad, other than cutting them miters. On the end of that quarter round. took a little time to get those the right length and the right shape. So they butted together without a big gap on the corner. We got a little gap here, but it's not enough to cry about. Making sure that's sort of centered in that board because it's a little bit narrower than the beam there. I did get the black piece cut out to the back shape of this, and it's got a sticky back on both sides that will peel off later on. That way it stays clean. Make sure this one's in the center. Enough glue on this left here. Yes. I got glue all over the place now where I'm laying that brush down. But I think we got the look that the instructions called for. I got glue on my pencil to clean that off too. We'll let that dry and go eat some breakfast. Maybe we can varnish it up after breakfast. Voila. Yeah, that maybe worked pretty good. Okay, so we got that hatch covers all varnished up and installed and glued down. In the center of the deck. These are just stuck in the hole to represent where the mast is going to be. That came out good. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, Cardinal left. He was just out there tweeting on the bird seed. So in the reflection there from the shop lights. In our instructions, the next thing to start on is the lower decking. So yeah, there's the first part of it. And I noticed as I went more forward in the instructions here that these front planks are going to be a lot of tapering. A little bit in the back, but a lot more in the front. We're going to end up tapering there's a good representation there. So as we go down, because we're about this level now, but as we go down, we're going to be doing a lot of tapering of the planks to give us a lot of be able to come into this new point with full planks. So this whole group in this area are going to be tapered somewhat at the ends. So we'll watch very closely in the instructions as that leads us to this lower point where we end up closing off all the planks in the bottom. And that tapering is going to be a little more time consuming because each board is going to have to be fitted properly to match this representation as we go down near the keel. And you can see as we get close to the keel line at the very bottom of the ship that these are full boards here, but everything above that area is those ones that are all tapered in. So that's going to be a challenge to follow through as we get near the bottom of the ship. And then we just do a lot of slivers to close it up till the last board is done. And the only little trick we got to watch as we go is to keep those boards tapered to the right point at the front in the bow area where they dead end at. We got to do that on both sides of the ship as we go down. And yeah, we'll be working on the side of it and getting our way the tapering in this area and then full planks as we get closer to the bottom, and then start the slivers, which will be tapered on both ends. And we'll have to keep that. I haven't done the cutaway to create. I'm sure there's going to be a piece that mounts in here and where this center board is. And we'll have to cut these away to fit that opening all the way down as we go till we get to a certain point, and then they join together. So that's what we'll be working on next week, is planking down toward the bottom keel. So in the meantime, pull this camera out of my stand here. Inquiring minds want to know, what else we do this week? Yeah, I spent one full day working on that hatch cover, and I would have liked to start it on the planking, but I had to do something yesterday. It's already Saturday now, so I'm going to post tonight, but 2 other days I worked out here, and finished the other side, and then I started on this side. Got the door frame opening framed in and the door made, and I still got to do some battens on this, like that batten there. I'm going to be doing those across in 4 places so I can put the tin on. But this was what I finished this week, was that opening there is all tinned in. And this door is ready for a chicken door at the bottom. That's why I didn't put the rat wire on it yet, because I don't know what chicken door I'm going to get yet. So I sort of duplicated that same size on that door over here on this door. And the same size chicken door there too. And I may have to change that to fit the door. I don't know what kind of chicken door we're going to get yet, but that takes care of the framework and the door itself. And that panel's on, and this panel's on, and we'll use those rolls of rat wire to go around the bottom. We'll bury it down in the ground 6 or 8 inches and then nail it to the bottom board there. So that'll protect the coop from predators digging in from outside. And then we'll do that same rat wire around the perimeter of the 2 different runs. So I should have enough to do that. And then we'll have, this is 6 foot by 150 foot regular chicken wire with a 1-inch mesh opening that will encapsulate over the sides and the top. I think I'm going to use those like hoops to help hold the chicken wire up in the top. And we'll have another run on this side. That's what the 2 doors are for. To be able to get into the runs, clean them out or whatever. And we're watering the garden right now. Look at the pumpkins, squash, and green beans, and tomatoes, and potatoes, and cabbage, and kale, some sunflowers, blueberries. Everything's growing like crazy. So, try to get this finished up next week on the rough enclosure, and then we'll start doing the predator proofing. We'll put some rat wire up there, close that off, but leave that open for venting. I have to put a bridge vent on the top, and then I'm going to use metal screen around the openings that are in the cracks here and there to keep the mosquitoes out too. I'll have to figure out how to do that without being too much work. So, thanks for coming along with me on our ship build, chicken build combination videos. Every week's going to be different. Well, we'll do some more planking next week. That's always fun. Do the final sanding after we get all the rest of the planking done. But the rough work is really good. It came out really good for doing that glue and pin format. I did buy another bucket of pins, so I'll have more straight ones to work with when we go planking down the bottom part here. Thanks for watching.